Hello, and welcome to another Precision Flyer Repairs video. This one's about a 312, and you might say, Dave, you've done videos on 312s before, and that's true. This isn't my first, and frankly, it probably won't be my last. This one I think has an interesting backstory and some early production pedigree about it that I thought I'd share with you. The owner who sent it to me for refurbishment said that he recalls it as a gift to him in 1945. Whereas the year might not be exactly right because Gilbert didn't produce two-rail S-gauge until 1946. That's not really what matters. What matters is this is very likely an early production unit and one of very special remembrance to its owner. And he sent it to me for refurbishment, and I think it turned out very nicely. I'll run it for you, but I'll share a little bit about its features. It's not date stamped inside, or I would have shared that with you and made note of it in its repair journal, but it does have some telltale signs of early production. One, and this is for very much all the early production steamers, that is the quality of the chrome. The chrome handrails and the other shiny bits of the linkage and connecting rods is of a very high quality early on. Many times all it takes is a cleaning to come back shiny and with a long-lasting luster. Later production, I don't think they used quite as high a quality material, and the handrails tarnish and get kind of gray, and it takes considerable work to get them shiny again, and I don't think they keep their shine as long as the early units do. So that's one thing about early production that I fondly like. The other thing is, if you look at its motor, which I can't show you here, the armature inside, the segments, the wire winding segments are very far apart, and in that early orange wire. The brush housing does not contain coil springs for its brushes, but instead the bent wire spring, or spring wire I should say, that kind of look like a treble clef, if you will. And the brushes are not the longer round shouldered type that are in later production units, but instead the shorter slotted type. And the trailing truck is an interesting design element to it. It actually has a retainer to keep it from dropping below the cab too far or swinging left and right too far when you lift the engine up and move it about off the tracks. There's a sheet metal element that rises up from the trailing truck toward the cab and then bends 90 degrees toward the tender. It's in an L shape, and that keeps it from dropping all the way that it could without that, or going left and right as far as it could without that. It's a nice feature, but of course they soon discovered it cost labor and material to do that, and people could probably live without it, as we all learned to, and so they dropped it. The tender has no pickup wheels. It has sheet metal side frames, and just two metal wheels in the front truck and two metal wheels on the back truck, and link couplers. So it's a dear sweet engine, particularly to its owner, who I hope now will enjoy it. I think we'll just run it around and take it in for what it is. A classic early production American flyer. Yes, that's right, 312 Pacific. It's got a particularly nice chuff, and by nice I mean realistic sounding. It really sounds like an exhaust, of course, which it is. It's compressed air with the piston and cylinder inside going to work. It's a metal cylinder, a metal piston, obviously metal cylinder too, but an early metal piston, lightly oiled to help create a seal. Don't grease them though. That's a mistake. and it smokes, I think, just right. It's not a crop duster or a smoke alarm activating smoke unit, but you can get up and go for an early motor. And of course, when you get that extra power with the throttle cranked, along comes that increased steam. Well, why not? That's the way steam engines operate. And she turned out to have a good reverse unit. And so there she is. An early American Flyer production, 312 Pacific. Yes, again, a video about that. And I hope you enjoyed this. What's not to like about watching a Gilbert American Flyer steam engine in fine tune taking some laps on the high rails? If you'd like to know more information about Precision Flyer repairs, please feel free to visit my website. Drop me a line from the contacts page on my website or use this email address shown here. Until next time, happy rails, be well, and have fun running your trains. And thanks for watching, of course.